Jimmy, how you doing?
Doing well, Steve. How are you?
Pretty good. You know, one of the things I like to do is read legal cases from around the country because sometimes they make me think of things that might happen in our cases. So I know it's maybe distracting. I'm holding a case here from the state of Connecticut, the great state of Connecticut, Mitchell versus Bogonos. Now, without belaboring too much about the legal intricacies, the issue here is that the wife complained that the court did not value the husband's comic book collection, which she said was worth $150,000. Can you imagine a comic book collection worth $150,000?
I grew up collecting a lot of baseball cards. I have a handful of rookie cards from people like Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
So it's not out of the realm of possibility for me to contemplate that in my head.
Well, riddle me this. You're a domestic attorney. Your entire practice is exclusively domestic, right?
Mm-hmm.
How often do you have parties that want to argue about personal property division?
More than they should.
More than they should. Yeah. As domestic attorneys, we hate to argue over what we call the pots and pans, right?
Yep.
But what if it's more than just pots and pans? What if it is $150,000 in comic books or baseball cards or something of extreme value? What do you do about that?
Well, I think that's something that should be treated as an asset.
Okay, but how would you come up with this value?
Well, you have to find an expert to value it.
Okay. So would you actually go and look for an expert in comic books?
If we're dealing with something that unique, I think you have to.
Okay. Have you ever hired an expert or thought about an expert in a case for valuation of property like that?
Not for property like that.
Mm-hmm.
We have had a few cases where people have had pretty extensive collections of things like, you recently had a case where they had an extensive alcohol collection. A lot of rather rare alcohols.
That's true. They had some Pappy, some fancy stuff like
Yep.
that. That's true. So one of the things you have to consider, although it doesn't come up every day, is valuing extremely expensive works of art, sometimes automobiles, things
Yep.
like that. And oftentimes what we have to do is find experts that can convince a judge or a jury what something may be worth, right?
Exactly.
So it's something to consider in the future.
If you have questions about things like this, give us a call at Shewmaker and Lewis.